Welcome to Warhammer Warscroll Review. Today we're going to be checking out the Seraphon Warscroll Starseer. Warscroll Review. Starseer is extremely valuable in just about any Order of Grand Alliance army, and I'm going to show you why. First of all, his stats are pretty bad. 5-inch move, 4 save, and a weapon that I'm not even going to bother talking about. Because if you're in combat, it's probably already over for the Starseer. So first of all, he can fly, which lets him reposition to get out of line of sight better. Because that's probably the only reason you're really going to need to move with the Starseer. I'm going to go back to his Cosmic Herald ability and first talk about his magic abilities. He can cast one spell. His signature spell is Curse of Fates, and it lets him increase or decrease the result of a single roll for a unit once per phase. So as you all know, there's 6 phases in each turn, so that's 12 times you can either increase or decrease. Obviously, a lot of units do not activate in every single phase of the game, but it still is up to 12 times you can use this rule. Now, it's actually not that hard to get a 2-up rerollable save within the Seraphon army, and it happens a couple different ways, but the Bastiladon is probably the most reliable way. And Curse of Fate is really good on the Bastiladon, makes him almost invincible. So if you get a 2-up rerollable with immune to rend, you're failing very infrequently. And that one time you roll that 1 twice in a row, you can just bump it up with Curse of Fate. When I use Curse of Fate in the combat phase, it's usually to protect myself from a wound, but if I didn't use it to save something, I can always use it to add 1 to the damage roll. One of the coolest things about Curse of Fate is it works with any model actually, friend or foe, doesn't matter the keyword. Obviously he can still cast Arcane Bolt and Mystic Shield is usually what I go to lately just because I haven't been running Bastiladons. But otherwise, the Curse of Fate is a really good spell. So let's go back to Cosmic Herald. The Skink Starseer's really great move. It can be used in the hero phase, where both you and your opponent secretly place a dice to show any number, then reveal them. You gain as many rerolls as the number on your dice. But if your opponent's dice shows the same number, the Starseer messed up and they get all the rerolls. So these rerolls can be used on really any roll within the game, and that's why they are so valuable. You can get up to 6 each turn, and just first of all, I just think it's really fun. It adds a little level of enjoyment to the game. It's not one of those dumb weird rolls where like, I mean, I can't really, I'm almost 30 years old, but I can't grow a beard, so I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be able to use that model. And maybe I kneeled, so I don't. Some of those dumb little special rules aren't really great, but this one I think is just actually fun and adds a level of tensity to the game. Anyway, you can get up to 6 rerolls. You can use them on anything, and the fact ruled that you can force rerolls from your opponent. So when you think about the applications of this, I find that modifying the initiative roll is the best thing you can do with the Starseer. What I do is I save 2 rerolls for the end of the turn. That way, if my opponent rolls, say, a 6 and I roll a 1, I'm going to have both of us re-roll those die. But if my opponent maybe rolled a 2 and I rolled a 1, I'll use the re-roll, let them save the 2, and hopefully I can roll at least better than a 2 in that case. I found that having that much control over the initiative roll is really incredible. I know Kairos is used for that same ability, but I'm pretty sure Kairos can only do it once per game, while the Starseer can do it each turn. So what I usually do is take the second turn and plan for the double turn. Starseer makes it really reliable. I find that skink heroes tend to work the best with the armies I create, so usually the Starseer is my general, and I give him Tenacious and Phoenix Stone. There's not really anything that great for him to use within the Order Grand Alliance, but this makes him a little bit more durable. Now obviously, as the Skink Starseer is 160 points, that's pretty expensive. Since the Starseer's reroll ability just affects everything on the field, really the only thing you're going to be needing to actively do is cast Shield or Curse of Fate, probably. So you can usually just keep the Skink Starseer way in the back, as Curse of Fate has a range of 20 inches and Mystic Shield has a range of 18. It is usually best to just keep the Skink Starseer out of line of sight of anything and just all the way in the back. As I've mentioned, the rerolls and Curse of Fate both affect any model on the board, so the Skink Starseer is really versatile. I don't know why he doesn't show up in many Order Grand Alliance armies. Maybe you all can answer that. Maybe I'm just really playing him up, but I have a lot of fun with him. Since the first time I used him, I haven't taken him out of any of my Seraphon lists. So if you do see him on the board, you're probably going to try to kill him right away, but he's probably also going to be all the way in the back, so it could be kind of difficult. I can tell you, the rerolls are extremely annoying to play against. Imagine rolling that game-changing 6 and your opponent forces you to reroll it. But on the bright side, the Skink Starseer is pretty weak defensively, and that's also one of the reasons why I'm going to give him a 4 out of 5. Although I think he's extremely valuable for any Order Grand Alliance, he's still 160 points, and he gets torn apart worse than wet paper. What do you all think about the Skink Starseer? Do you ever add him to an Order Grand Alliance army that's not focused on Seraphon? What are some Warscrolls you'd like to see reviewed? Thanks for watching.